All right, we've got a great interview for you guys today on the Young Turks. Not a big deal, just a presidential candidate. Larry Lessig, Harvard Law professor and current Democratic presidential candidate, joins us in the studio. Larry, great to have you here.
Great to be here, Cenk.
All right. So now, Larry, you're in the middle of a presidential run, and boy, it seems fascinating. So in the beginning, they had told you before you entered the race, hey, listen, if you're going to enter the race, Professor Lessig, you're going to need a good amount of money for us to take you seriously, because there's going to be hundreds of people who actually behind the scenes apply to be the Democratic president, et cetera. So you raised $1 million, which is what, more than how many of the candidates?
Well, we raised $1 million. That's more than 2, probably 3, counting our pledges of the Democrats, more than 5 of the Republicans. So, you know, a non-politician steps in, raises money that's competitive in the field. We thought that would be all it took for them to say, okay, fine, you're a serious candidate. But, you know, once I announced, after raising $1 million, we got crickets from the Democratic Party. This was the biggest surprise in the campaign. You know, I had really strong support. You got me into this race, but everybody thought once we hit the number, the Democratic Party would say, welcome. They didn't say anything. They didn't put a press release out or anything. And once they didn't put a press release out, welcoming into the party, the polls were like, well, this guy's not running. Like, who is this guy? So they wouldn't include me in polls. So it was this catch-22. I have to get 1% in the polls to be in the debates, but I'm not in the polls to get the 1% to be in the debates. And so we had this incredible fight to get them to even acknowledge me as a candidate. You know, the insiders, they get to be, you know, up on that stage, but somebody on the outside who actually does more than the insiders has to fight like hell, even to get a telephone call returned. I had this call scheduled with the chair of the Democratic Party, Debbie Wasserman Schultz. She canceled the call, said they'd rescheduled, never rescheduled.
But she said that she's talked to you, right?
She said at a press conference before the debate that they've spoken to me. It was unclear from what she said whether she said she's spoken to me or they've spoken to me. No one's spoken to me, right? I have tried to have a talk. It's not true. Plain, it is simply not true. But you know, the point is, I get what's going on. You know, the Democratic Party, Democratic National Committee, is not trying to figure out what the Democrats want. They're trying to steer in a particular direction. That's fine. That's the way politics works. But all I'm saying is they ought to give me a fair shot to be able to present this position. Because we know not a single person on that debate stage said the thing that I would be saying if I were on that debate stage. And, you know, Matt Iglesias has a great piece today in Vox about the hopelessness of the Democratic Party. And I think we ought to be open to ideas that might give us a chance to actually be competitive again.